17. do 18:30.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, the snow has disappeared. A foot of snow gone within 24 hours. The weather is getting increasingly erratic. We're almost at the end of January, we should be in the middle of winter, and it decided to take a break. With all this erratic weather and for example Storm Christoph happening in the UK, with all the floods and sub-zero temperatures and the mudslide in Norway, that scares me the most because of the hill behind me. It made me think about how much our greed and our obsession with new things is basically eating the environment and the planet alive. How can you and I change our lifestyle a little bit to make it easier both in our finances and on planet Earth? And I came up with a list of things which might help. How to survive challenging times. Reuse, repurpose. The 3 R's. Okay, let's talk about clothing. When you buy new clothes because they're in fashion, what you're actually doing is you're just buying into a created fantasy which has been invented purely to sell a product. If you go back a few decades, you will see fashion trends lasted generally about a decade. Now, if they last a season, it's a miracle. And when you think there are 7 or 8 billion people on this planet who desperately want new clothes to look in, that is a lot of clothes being produced. And what happens to all these clothes? Think about that for a moment. So, you're basically feeding corporate greed. You're inducing sweatshop slavery in poorer countries, for example Myanmar and Bangladesh. And you're creating environmental damage. All of this has a cost. When you buy that latest coloured t-shirt to fit in, think about this. Buy second hand. There are lots and lots of means of buying second hand goods, whether through charity shops, whether through eBay, local newspapers, flea markets. Look for quality goods which have had little wear. Reuse them. Especially with leather goods. Leather is so easy to retreat and it lasts almost forever. Go through your old stuff. Go through your cupboards. There must be lots of items you haven't worn for years. This old idea of if you don't wear something for a year, throw it out. The only people who come up with that idea are the people who mass produce clothing. That's ridiculous. Why throw away a perfectly good piece of equipment? 100 years ago, people had one set of clothing for summer, one set of clothing for winter, and one good set of clothing for Sundays and weddings and funerals. That was it. Now, we have cupboards filled with crap, and we're supposed to throw it away after a year and buy more crap? No. Mix and match. Create your own style. Find what fits you, your fashion, your style, and just stick with that. Don't buy the marketing crap. If you're clever enough, make your own clothes. Experiment. Many people now have a lot of time on their hands. Maybe they have a sewing machine at home. Try creating your own. This goes for men and women. Buy old military kit for hard wearing stuff. For example, boots. If you want a really good quality pair of boots, don't buy some vegan leather from produced in China. These things are designed to not last one season. Look for old military equipment. You can buy unused and it will last a lifetime. Okay, food. Food is one of the biggest drains on our pockets, and it's one of the biggest drains on the environment. Don't buy pre-packaged food or pre-made food. I know I do like the occasional pot noodle, but try to make your own. Each year, companies fill their packets with less and less product weight per increased price. If any of you remember the Cadbury's cream egg scandal, where each year they were reducing and going up in price. This is across the board. So, buy potatoes locally. Everybody has a farm somewhere in the region. Buy your potatoes locally. Make your own chips. Make your own mashed potatoes. Make your own baked potatoes. Don't buy chips in a packet. It's ridiculous. Most of the time it's reconstituted powder from potato, sugar, salt, emulsifiers, additives. Buy potatoes. They cost fuck all in comparison to packet chips. Buy bags of pasta and rice. Buy big ones. Pasta and rice are ideal ways of feeding large families. Don't buy these little pre-packaged, pre-made TV dinner things with 5 grinds of rice in it. For the same price as a TV dinner, you could buy maybe 5 kilos of rice. It would last you a week. Buy fresh goods and make your own food. I mean, just the fact of what goes in to pre-made food, it's horrific. I mean, the amount of soy products that are used in it. Now, because of these little laws which have been passed, mealworms will count as meat protein, and they'll start replacing the good traditional horse meat that you're used to. Make your own. Buy less meat, as I've said before, but when you do, buy quality from your local butcher. Make sure he is buying locally and he's not buying battery produced, genetically modified, hormone induced monstrosities. He will know what's the good meat. Buy it once a week. Have really, really good meat once a week. Not fake meat in pre-made food. Household goods and furniture. from what I gather, during the pandemic, there was a huge purchasing frenzy in certain pre-made furniture shops. You all know what I'm talking about, so I don't need to say what it is. Buy second-hand furniture. Buy really good quality second-hand furniture. I wish my friend Letty had her own website, because my friend Letty takes old pieces of furniture, sometimes not even furniture, she takes different things and puts them together as furniture and makes them look stunning. I mean, absolutely stunning. With a little bit of nous and a little bit of practice and a lot of patience, you could be creating works of art to sit on and eat on and put your books on. Repair old furniture. Repaint stuff. My wife has this thing about shabby chic. She loves painting everything shabby chic. There's all different pastel colours like blue and pink and grey, white. And it looks really cool. It's very feminine, you know. It's not something I would have personally chosen, but I think it looks really cool. Try it out. If you've got an old chair and an old table, even an old kitchen set, try shabby chicing it. Or stain it. There's lots of colours of wood stain. You know, walnut and palisander. You can completely change what something looks like by giving it a sanding, a stain, and a couple of layers of varnish. Use only natural materials. For example, leather, wood, metal, and stone. The cost of modern furniture is insane compared to the production cost. This stuff costs nothing. And yet now you pay a fortune for kitchen sets. In a few years, it will be broken and there's no way of fixing it. It's not like wood. You can't just glue it all back together. Use what we've already taken from the earth. There's stuff everywhere. Repurpose planks. Repurpose old doors. Stop taking new stuff. Stop giving money to corporations which encourages them to take more from the earth. Reuse what we've already taken, because we've taken way too much. I don't even want to start on the car industry, where there are hundreds of thousands of cars parked in airfields because no one will ever buy them. Use the earth in a way which doesn't drain her. All of us have been given this gift of living here on this planet for 70. We should be leaving it in a better state than we found it. And we're not. And this crap we're being told by governments about carbon footprints, when I see what industry is doing, it's horrific, and it's not going to stop. The only way this will stop is if we as individuals refuse to buy into the corporate program. I'm going to give you a task, a price limit. Now this is quite difficult, it really is. What I want you to do is I want you to set yourself the goal of limiting your spending to a fixed price limit. For example, £20 or €20 or $20, £30, $30, €30. And that means whatever you buy cannot go beyond that limit. Doesn't matter what it is. Clothing. If you want to buy a piece of clothing, which I've just suggested you don't, if you really, really need to, look for the best you possibly can under a fixed price. If you want a piece of furniture, for example, you need a new kitchen table or a dining room table, you've got a £30 or €30 limit. That means you're not going to some Scandinavian or German mass-produced store. It means you're going to be searching online if somebody is selling theirs. Or maybe you could build it yourself. I did with my dining room table. I built mine from old planks. It looks cool. I've had it for about 15 years. And it's huge. So set yourself a limit. Food. At the moment, it's almost impossible to go to restaurants. So that should be helping your pocket somewhat. When you do your shopping, if you do as I suggested and buy your own potatoes and rice and pasta and merely get good meat once or twice a week, or these few extras, a couple of luxuries, you will be able to keep the price of your shopping to less than 20 or 30. It sounds ridiculous, but you will be able to. Set yourself a goal. Set yourself it for a period of time, maybe 6 months or less. And really try to stick with it. And I guarantee it will change your perspective on how you're living. You will realise how much you're wasting, how much you're throwing away, how much crap you're buying and not using. Reuse what we have. That's the basic line. We've already plundered enough. Reuse, repair, repurpose. One of the few items I would actually suggest buying is a good cordless drill. And start doing things yourself. We are living in challenging times, and it's going to get a lot harder for both us and the planet. As always, please like my videos, subscribe to them, watch through them, and be free.